VPM is required to be extremely patient in dealing with those questions, and some of those questions can be extremely weird. So Toastmaster Tushar, if you can describe any such experience, any weird experience in dealing a guest or a new member, feel free to do so.
That requires a little bit of thought. I'll take 2 seconds, please.
What's up, everyone? I hope all of you are quite excited because today I'm going to make your day even more special, and I have a very special member for the same. He is an engineer from Pune, and right now he is helping his father's business in dealing with medical equipments. He is also the immediate past president of Capital City Toastmasters, and the X factor of this person is that he has a very sexy voice. Welcome, Tushar, to my show. How are you feeling today?
Hi, Ananya, and hi, everybody. Thank you for giving a great introduction, and thank you for complimenting my voice as well. You're not the only one. I think the 10th person who has complimented me for my voice. Thank you for that. I'm doing great, and I'm just came back from the office, enjoying my rest of the evening. Yeah.
You must know that I feel a lot of I get a lot of complex when I hear a voice. So since you have said that a lot of people have complimented you, that must mean a lot to you, Tushar, I believe.
No, not that much, because that is something that I still find it a little bit unexplored. Had you guys given me this compliment before, I would have had much more success than I have today. So yeah.
Do not worry, Tushar. I pray that you will get success very, very, very soon. Perfect, Tushar. So Tushar is a big fan of sports, and he's an even bigger fan of football. So Tushar, if you could describe about your favorite football club and why do you follow that club?
I have been into sports since my school days, and football is the one particular sport that I fell in love with from school. And it has given me a lot of excitement, a lot of pleasure, a lot of fun playing that particular sport. But most importantly, I started watching because of one player, that is Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm a huge fan of the way he plays. I know people have very contrasting views when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo, because some of them are Messi fan as well. So that kind of thing dragged me into the sport, and I fell in love with the club from Spain, that is Real Madrid, and I have been following them since 2008, and I'm a big fan of how they play, history and everything they bring up on the pitch.
So now that Ronaldo has left Real Madrid, are you a fan of Juventus or Real Madrid at this point of time?
A true football fan will always stick to the club, and he will not go because the player is not there. So I'm still sticking with, even though we are having some ups and downs, but I'm still sticking up with Real Madrid now, and as well as in the future as well.
I guess then we are rivals. I'm a Barcelona supporter, and as already pointed out, some of them are Messi fans as well. Perfect, not an issue. You are also a big follower of a thriller and books based on thriller and history, Tushar. So if you were to recommend any book to the ones who are listening to this podcast at this point, what book would it be and why?
I think when you said thriller and history, those are two different genres, and I particularly fell in love with both of them. Especially, when you have to go with a thriller novel, I would recommend going for, if you are a newbie, if you are going for the first time, don't go for it. But if you have read something, I think then you can obviously go for the writer, which is very famous, that is Ken Follett. And he has written a book called Jackdaws. So it is all about the spies that were there in World War II. And as long as the history is concerned, I am trying to understand the history that this country has, rather than going and searching out the history all over the world, because this country is filled with beautiful palaces, beautiful forts, beautiful places, I think, and especially the culture that we have is something that most of us of this generation have not studied and have not paid attention to. I but recently read a book on Maharana Pratap, the great warrior of Mewar, and I particularly loved that book. I completed that book in 2 days, and it was a mind-blowing novel. I think you all should give it a read.
I hope that people do read and gain important insights as described by Tushar. So in Toastmasters, all of those who are not familiar with Toastmasters, we have a section known as the evaluation, where the evaluator comes and give a constructive feedback to the speakers, basically the ones that speak at a Toastmasters meeting. And Toastmasters, Tushar is one of those rare Toastmasters who always gives an evaluation which is so powerful, which inspires the speaker to again come back on the stage and give a speech on that very same day. So Tushar, what is that magical ingredient in your evaluation, the secret that it inspires the people and people do not take it as an offense and rather as a constructive feedback?
Toastmaster, as you know, the Toastmaster is altogether a different platform than real life. All you need is somebody to come up and help you out. So if I'm going for a criticism, we always have heard about the fact that constructive criticism should be given to everyone. But on the other hand, I was very critical, and I used to go on the different lines when I'm criticizing people. But then I read about the word called constructive criticism, and that made me think, because Toastmasters brought that thing up into my enlightened me about, and I was really happy to hear, okay, this is something new that you should try. And I sincerely, I would like to pinpoint somebody from our club only, that is Toastmaster Ayush. When he came up, when he was there, I joined the club at that time, and I still remember him giving evaluations. He won the contest, evaluation contest, and every now and then he was winning. And I particularly took something out of his book. I think that was, if you really think that something is missing or something is there that you need to pinpoint, don't hesitate just because you are in front of 20 people. If your heart says that this person has done something wrong, just go for it and tell it. Always make sure that you're sugarcoating it as well, so that the other person doesn't feel bad about what you're saying. So that is one thing that I got out of from Ayush evaluation, and I learned that, and I started implementing it in my evaluations, and I think I did a decent job while evaluating. Not the one that you're praising me for, but I can understand that it's just a little bit that I was able to manage out of it. Thank you.
Well, I can definitely vouch that Tushar is being modest, but he is an amazing evaluator. So I would request all of you to join Capital City Toastmasters to experience his wonderful evaluation. So in Toastmasters, all of those who are mostly familiar with it know it is an organization which promotes public speaking and leadership. But once a member joins, he or she gets to know that Toastmasters also provides something known as mentorship. So Toastmaster Tushar, if you were to talk about your mentors at Toastmasters and how have they impacted and guided your public speaking journey, if you could talk about the same.
When I came to Toastmasters, I still remember my mentor, and I'm still in touch with her. She was Maitri Mahajan. She was the star kid of our club. And the way she spoke, the way she wrote speeches, and the delivery she was giving at that time was tremendous. I really liked the way she was presenting herself. And I always got my speeches checked by her. But when she left the club, I still went in, was in contact with her to get my speeches checked, wait for her inputs and all. But even though after that as well, I found that she got busy with work and all. So I did not stop taking help from other people as well. I approached Anushka, I approached Nimish, I approached whosoever I found, Arpit for that matter, that you need to help me out in evaluating this thing. So these guys, not only Maitri, who was the official mentor, I made sure taking help from each and every one of them. And that helped me in shaping who I am today. So not that somebody who is there to help you out, to put a hand on your back and say you are doing good, is somebody you need in your life. And that is what I found in Toastmasters.
I think that's the beauty of Toastmasters. There are people who are always ready to help you out and achieve your dreams and aspirations, which is public speaking. Amazing answer, Tushar. And I hope that your mentors are extremely proud of where you are at this position, Tushar. Also, Tushar, apart from being the immediate past president, he has also served as the longest vice president membership at our club. So a vice president membership is someone who acts as an interface between the guest and the club. Usually a new guest or a new person who enters Toastmasters has a lot of questions, and a VPM is required to be extremely patient in dealing with those questions, and some of those questions can be extremely weird. So Toastmaster Tushar, if you can describe any such experience, any weird experience in dealing a guest or a new member, feel free to do so.
That requires it. I'll take 2 seconds, please. Yeah. Oh. I particularly remember that when I was a VPM, it was by far the most fun job that I had in CCT. Not that I am the longest serving. I currently am the longest serving VPM, but the current VPM is going to beat my record pretty soon. So, but I enjoyed thoroughly the role I had. The weirdest memory that I had was when I remember one of the guests called, and he said, he started asking me about the breakup of the amount that we take. There's a little bit of amount that we take to run the club, and that person particularly wanted to have the breakdown of the membership fee, and I was extremely surprised to hear that. And even though I did give him the breakup, he started questioning me, why are you charging this? Why are you charging this? And then I realized after a couple of times talking to him that this person is not going to give anything out to the club if he joins. So I made sure I had this trick in my hand that if somebody is annoying me, I used to raise the fees 2 times. And I used to tell them, okay, we recently have undergone some changes, etc. And the fees now has been, it was like 10,000. So that person usually loses his mind and he says, you're charging way too much. And he hangs up the phone. So I know I need to get these people out of the site as quickly as possible. Please don't tell Arpit and Swasti under whose leadership I did this, because they are going to kill me for that.
Finally, I think this confidentiality is going to be revealed through this podcast. But I really loved, and I'm sure there must have been more weird experiences as a VPM as well. I think that's the best part of this role. And finally, so the final question of this segment is that since I personally experienced you, like you were one of those members when I joined as a member, and I saw you being quite irregular in the beginning because you had that job which required a lot of traveling, a lot of work to do. And usually in that circumstance, a member usually loses interest at Toastmasters and usually leaves the club. But you are someone who has stayed, even being busy in your professional career, and you have renewed throughout each and every term. So what is that something which motivates you to renew despite knowing that you have a professional career at one hand which requires you to dedicate that many hours, and also growing as a public speaker?
I particularly believe that your work life is not the only thing that you have to do in the whole day, because I believe a lot of things can be added or can be subtracted from what you are doing in your day-to-day life. So Toastmaster was something of a getaway for me, because when you're working and you're working late and you have been irregular, you want to be a part of something that is good, where you tend to learn and you tend to enjoy as well. So Toastmasters, particularly my club, Capital City Toastmaster, has that thing that keeps you attached to it. It's like glue. So I was not able to get out of it, no matter how many times I tried. And this is why I keep on renewing and renewing, because I still believe that there is something there to learn again from Toastmasters, not only from the senior members, but also from the members who are just joining it. So they can also help me in achieving some things, because in regular meetings also, you tend to feel, okay, this person has said something new which can be added somewhere in my speech in future. So this is the constant learning is something that Toastmasters helped me throughout this whole term, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm sure I'm going to stick with them, with the club and you all for a long time.
I think that Tushar's answer should inspire one who's stuck at a professional academic lives and who are confused whether to join Toastmasters or not. We'll move on to the second segment of this talk show, which is the table topic or the impromptu speaking session, which is one of the favorite session of every Toastmaster. So in this session, a speaker is given a topic by the table topic master, and the speaker is required to speak impromptu for 1 to 2 minutes. Tushar, for your convenience, in the chat box, I'll be writing 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes so that you can time your speech accordingly. And I hope that you are ready for this segment to kick off.
Yeah, Toastmaster is always ready for an impromptu session.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I like about Toastmasters. So the topic of Tushar is, if I could time travel. If I could time travel, Tushar, you may begin.
If I could time travel. If I could time travel, I would like to go back in the days when our history, our temples, our forts, our culture was being taking steps, baby steps, I think. And I particularly want to explore the areas of the thing that India is all about. So if I get a chance to go back in the past and go and see something, then it will be the India that is not discovered up till now. Even though it has been discovered, I still want to explore it right through my eyes. I know a lot of things are there. When you go back, you need to analyze the Indus Valley civilization is there, the Ashokas were there, the Cholas, Cheras, Marathas, and you name it, you will find a lot of them over there. But that kind of history is something has been forgotten in our current time. And I particularly would want to learn from it. And if I can gather that information, I would like to share it with the world, so that they also know about what India was and what India is, and how we can shape it, because the best lesson that you can learn is from the history itself. If you're ignoring the history, you're neglecting your future, and you're going to make mistakes in your future, for sure. So my take would be, if I get a chance to go have a time machine and time to travel, I would definitely like to go back in time when India was being discovered or India was going to be discovered. Thank you.
That was an amazing presentation of impromptu speaking by Tushar. And with that, we finally move on to the interesting aspect of this talk show, which is the rapid fire segment. I'll ask Tushar 6 questions and he needs to answer them on the spot. Tushar, I hope you are all ready for this final segment.
All set. Bring it on, Ananya. Just one question. Is there a gift hamper
For
giving out all the 6 questions? Something has to be there. A coffee hamper would be great. You have my address already.
I think the likes on this video should suffice that. If that does so.
That's very bad. I think I hope I'm going to pressurize people to like this video then.
Okay, and then I may think of some suitable award. Perfect then. Let's start. First question. What's your favorite meal?
Butter naan and dal makhani.
If you could have an unlimited storage of one thing, what would it be?
I would say Toblerone chocolate.
What is that first thing that you think when you wake up in the morning?
Oh, damn, I missed the football match last night.
If you had to change your name, what would it be?
I think I'm happy with Tushar, but people call me Vishal. People call me a lot of other names. So I think Vishal would be the second name I can prefer is fine.
What is that one thing that you're deeply grateful for at this point?
Joining Toastmasters.
Now, the final question is, now I am going to list the name of following Toastmasters. You need to tell which one of them, according to you, will get married soon. Toastmaster Arpit, Toastmaster Dheeraj, Toastmaster Rahul. Just name.
Okay, so starting with, I think the first wicket that is going to fall is of Toastmaster Dheeraj. Then I think Toastmaster Rahul and then Toastmaster Arpit.
What could be the reason?
I think going by their age, Dheeraj is getting older day by day and he needs to get married. Come on. Same goes with Rahul and Arpit too.
I hope this answer gives optimism to these 3 most eligible bachelors of our club. So that ends this rapid fire segment. And Tushar, we are done with this talk show. Do you have any final thoughts before leaving?
I just want to share one thing that I have learned recently from a well-known athlete called Kobe Bryant before. And during his time, he said that whatever you want to do, always make sure that rest towards the end, not in the middle. So if you are going to go for a club like Toastmasters or any other profession, make sure that you are dedicated to that particular task, because that is where you're going to learn and you're going to excel. Not only that, there are so many aspects to life that you need to look into apart from your work life or your college or your school. You need to figure out things that you like and you need to widen your horizon. So I think that's the piece of advice I have learned and I would like to share it with all of you. Also, take time, come visit our club. Make sure, no matter CCT or any other club, be associated with Toastmasters, because what you are going to learn here, you're not going to learn anywhere. That I can guarantee. Over to you, Ananya. Thank you.
Thanks for those beautiful words, Tushar. I feel all our viewers and listeners are quite inspired hearing this Tushar's podcast. And with that, we come to an end of this talk show. Thank you, Tushar, for joining. I hope each one of us had a wonderful time listening to this podcast. Bye-bye.
Bye.